How's it going, everyone? Got some really exciting JRPG updates to go over in this video. We have an update for Granblue Fantasy Relink as that game continues to make improvements. I know some of you guys are having issues with things such as matchmaking. A new patch has dropped for some various issues with the game being resolved. Not a major patch, but we'll go over it regardless. And a long-running JRPG franchise will be getting its latest entry come this fall. Very excited about this. This is one franchise that I gotta do my part. In 2024, I'm getting this franchise over and I'm getting more people to check it out. That's gotta be, I know we're in February, but that's gotta be my New Year's resolution, so we'll talk that in a little bit. Now, before we get into this video, I just want to ask you guys, please like this video and do leave a comment with your thoughts. It really does help out the channel a lot, and it is much appreciated. But first of all, Granblue Fantasy Relink. Version 1.0.5 update information for the PlayStation version, and they actually updated the update and they added another fix. I don't know if this fix was rolled out in the original and it just wasn't in the patch notes. Whatever the deal is, it's only available on PlayStation right now. The PC update, I believe, will be rolling out in the next day or so. The updates note changes from version 1.04. Online adjusted the way matchmaking finds other players with power adjustment under matchmaking settings is set to on, which should improve matchmaking results for the PlayStation 4 and 5 versions of the game. Setting power adjustment to off and matchmaking region to any may also make it easier to match with other players. Quest fixed a bug that caused lower than intended drop rates when breaking boss parts in the following quests for the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 versions: Hope in the Machine and Know Your Enemy. And then also fixed a bug for PlayStation 4 and 5 versions where rewards for breaking parts of certain bosses weren't obtainable from chests after clearing the quest. Affected difficulties were Very Hard, Extreme, Maniac, and Proud. So those are the updates and fixes rolling out to Granblue Fantasy Relink. Again, a very, very small and minor patch, but hopefully some bigger updates are to come. And remember, content updates will be starting next month. So for now, they're getting the game at a working state. I mean, the game is beyond at a working state. There's just some issues here and there with the game as far as online connectivity and whatnot. But given that I'm playing Helldivers 2 these days, it's not so bad to say the least. And actually, going to Granblue Fantasy Relink and checking out the Steam page, right now, the game is at over 100,000 players, and I feel like the game always peaks around the morning time, and I mean, that's just generally the case with PC games and games in general. They always seem to peak around the morning as far as concurrent players, and definitely that is true during the weekends, but it being still over 100,000 players, I feel like is pretty remarkable. I mean, this game peaked at just over 100,000. I want to say it was 108k, and it's still being around 104k 2 weeks after release. It's been 2 weeks since the game has dropped. That's pretty impressive. I would say that's a really, really healthy number for Granblue Fantasy at this point. Now, 2 weeks is still not a lengthy period for an online focused game, but we'll see how things change with updates and whatnot. And remember, this was a $60 release that was not available, as far as Steam goes, since we're looking at the concurrent player account, that was not available on other storefronts for a little bit cheaper or anything like that. And then you look at games such as, of course, Palworld and recently Helldivers 2. Yeah, those games certainly popped off more, a lot more in the case of Palworld, but they were also much cheaper games. Helldivers 2 a $40 title, Palworld a $30 title, so it's good to see that Granblue Fantasy, a fairly fresh IP, it's not necessarily new, but a fresh IP to a different audience, especially in the console and PC market. It has still popped off with a $60 price tag and enjoying it quite a bit. Obviously, the main story is fairly short. That's been like the main criticism, but the main story is really a setup for all the other content in the game, but keep that in mind. And yeah, game is quite good. If you're waiting for it to go on sale, certainly do pick it up at some point if you're remotely into action RPGs. Art style's great, soundtrack's really good. Is the narrative blowaway compared to some of these other games recently, like an Infinite Wealth, like a P3? No, but it's still fairly decent, and I would say it's a worthwhile playthrough. Moving on from that, oh baby, so excited for this, and the JRPG lineup for 2024 is getting more and more stacked. Ys 10 Nordics is coming to the West this fall for PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, and PC. Kind of interesting if it will be on the next Nintendo Switch, since I imagine it'll be out by the time the Switch 2 drops, or it'll be coming out at around the same time. But regardless, right now, it's pretty much confirmed for every major platform outside of Xbox. Super excited for this. Ys 10 looks fantastic. The game dropped back in September of last year in Japan and Asia and is now coming to all major platforms in the West in the fall. And if you look at this calendar year for JRPGs, we already have the early portion of the year kind of set. The first 4 months or so, man, it is stacked. We already got Granblue, we got P3R, we got Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, we have Final Fantasy VII Rebirth coming out, Legend of Legacy HD Remaster is in the mix, Yun Chronicle 100 Heroes is in April, like a lot of high quality titles, and now, you know, it'll be interesting to see what comes out in the fall, but Ys 10 definitely is one of the major titles that I'll be looking forward to, and Ys is a franchise that I gotta do a better job. I'm not saying, you know, me talking about the game is gonna get more people to check it out, but I should at least be talking about Ys a little bit more in terms of these games are really good, and I plan on doing the push for Ys 10 so I can get some of you guys to check out Ys, because Ys certainly is not at the level of a Persona, a Final Fantasy. I wouldn't even say it's at the Tales of realm yet, and that's why Ys is one of those franchises that, unlike a lot of those other major JRPGs, Like a Dragon recently hit that territory as well, that they come out concurrently with their other releases as far as, you know, their international release, and the release in Japan comes out at the same time as the release in the States. The only other major JRPG franchise that I can think of that I'm a big fan of is Legend of Heroes, where we are playing those games at a bit of a delay. Legend of Heroes has so much catching up to do that I don't think that game will ever catch up, but Ys certainly could catch up, and each of the games you can play them without playing the other ones. They just feature Adol as the main character, and obviously there are some reoccurring plot themes and whatnot, but Ys 10 looking to be quite good from a visual standpoint for Ys, looking pretty solid as well. It's always been a very enjoyable action JRPG. The combat system has been very enjoyable, the soundtracks have always been great, and now we have the latest one in Ys 10. The game notes: following the tenuous encounter at the sea, the young red-haired adventurer Adol Christian and the proud pirate Karja find themselves bound by fate and the mysterious power of mana. As they search for a way to undo the mystical ties that bind them, they soon find themselves caught up in a conflict between two factions, the seafaring warriors known as the Normans and the enigmatic and seemingly immortal. In order to save the people of the Abelia Gulf, Adol and Karja must navigate the depths of their unexpected bond and the power that it grants them. Two heroes, one story cross-action system, the power of mana, and Sailor's Delight is noted as well. Generally speaking, when I do recommend Ys, I recommend people to start off with Ys 8 Lacrimosa of Dana. That game readily goes on sale for like sub 20 bucks and is quite good, and has more of a mystery element to the game. I really like that game from a narrative standpoint, and soundtrack was great. The games themselves, like each one of them is very good. Memories of Salcedo got ported to PlayStation as well, and some of the classic titles are available on PC, but those do show some of their age quite a bit. Ys 7 is a good pickup as well. That game's pretty solid. I played that on the PSP way back when it came out, and actually, for some reason, I have a sealed copy of that game on the PSP, and I think that's worth quite a lot. But nonetheless, yeah, won't brag too much about that. Ys 10 Nordics coming west this fall, PS5, PS4, Switch, and PC. Definitely have that on your radar, and it's going to be, I'm pretty confident in saying it's going to be one of the better games of the year. Ys has always been fairly consistent. One of the most consistent JRPG franchises you're going to come across. I talk about Tales of being very consistent. Ys is the same way, in that it's incredibly consistent with each outing being pretty damn great. But that'll do it for me. Again, Granblue Fantasy Relink gets a new update for the PlayStation 5 versions of the game with version 1.0.5. Some fixes dropping with that, a minor update, but still wanted to go over it. And Ys 10 Nordics is coming west this fall for PS5, PS4, Switch, and PC. Super excited about that. And the killer year for JRPG gaming is continuing, and this is another major release that you should have your eyes on. Still going to be a ways away, I would imagine, you know, an October, November release date, but yeah, still very, very excited for it. And not like we have a shortage of JRPGs until then. But that'll do it for me. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.